Okay, so it's been a few days. Ended up running into a few problems, having to wait on parts. And then the big blue cookie monster lost its brakes, so I had to address that. Which, that's a whole nother scenario I'll tell you about later. So, we got our 3-1 out. It's on the stand. Drained the oil out this morning. We're going to tear the top end apart, get down to the camshaft, get our front timing cover and everything off, and then we will roll it over, do our pan gasket, roll it back over, and start putting everything back together. So, going to be using the impact, so you might want to have your volume down a little bit. And we're going to get started on it here. As soon as I remember where I put the 13mm socket. Right there. No, I don't want that extension. I want this extension. You got this brace back here for your throttle cable, so you got to take that off. Because that holds your upper and lower together. And you got one 10mm bolt on the bottom that's a pain in the butt. There we go. It just comes off. Nice and easy. And just for ease, I like to take this vacuum port out. Goes to your master cylinder. Take our okay, I gotta pull the heater hose off over here because these got a goofy heated intake throttle body, and these hoses are a pain in the butt, and especially when you have one spring a leak on you on your way to college at 6 o'clock in the morning. Parts house don't open till 7. So I'll get these out of here, and I'll probably be replacing them on the way out, just for preventative. And actually, if you look here, you see I got this one wrapped in wire. It's because this is supposed to be a preformed hose, and it makes a really tight turn, but I couldn't get the hose. So if you wrap that hose really tight in wire and then make your bend, it'll keep it from kinking off, so it still functions. And it's been in there more than a day or two, so chances of it coming off. Oh, no, it's going to.
Just not without a fight.
Well, that's fine. You can fight a little bit. Break loose this other one. This one goes around to your water manifold. So and if you're not going to do this or if you're doing this project where you don't want to make a mess, make sure you got a drip pan, because it's going to start leaking all over. There we go. One securing nut on this hose. And see, if you come over here, you can see why I don't want to take this off. This water manifold goes into the water pump housing with 2 tiny little 8mm bolts that have been in that aluminum for I don't know how many years. The gasket doesn't leak, and I don't want to disturb them because you're more than likely going to break those bolts. So I will fight it over here and take that all off in one piece. Yeah, that hose will come off now. Okay. Alright, then we're going to try to take all of our vacuum ports off. EGR, oh, almost forgot. I'll take that nut off the EGR. And you can tell I've had it off before and fought it because the hose is all twisted up. It still functions, it doesn't leak, so I leave it alone. I've thought about taking all the emissions off, but with the computer system, I don't have the capability of reprogramming it. So, and now with the new camshaft I'm dropping in, I'm going to be taking it right to the extent of the computer controlled capability anyhow. So, don't want to push it any more than I already am. And I'll warn you right now, I did silicone this manifold on the last time I took it off. Because, well, I'm broke. Alright.
You got a hose here.
Oh, that's the PCB valve. It'll come right off. No problem. Not a problem. That unhooked.
Lift up again.
Okay.
It's this here.
It's what?
This cord thing.
You gotta be more specific on this.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know what it's called, babe.
That would be a vacuum port.
Okay, well, it was hooked in there.
Pliers. There we go. Just take that off of one piece and set it to the side. We'll clean it all up later. Now, if I remember right, yeah, I should be able to, maybe not that one. I want to take it off as complete as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'm going to have to pull my fuel lines because I can't get to that nut or that bolt there to get the intake off. So, that sucks. But, not the first time I've had those off. I've had to replace that regulator a couple times. Okay, let's get pop that thermostat up off there. So we got a new thermostat, and on these 3 1s and 2 8 motors alike, you have to have the thermostat out when you fill it with coolant. Otherwise you'll end up with a vapor lock and possibly blow the motor up when you go to fire it up.
That's interesting.
Yeah, the blocks do not vent for diddly. And yeah, if you look up the factory procedure for filling it with coolant, if you look it up in the book, it actually tells you to leave the thermostat out until you get your water level up. There we go. And this one is 180, which is 15 below the factory. And with the new camshaft, I'm actually taking it back up to the factory setting to try to increase my fuel mileage a little bit. Will it work? I don't know. But can't hurt anything. Okay, that'll come loose, that'll come loose. Okay. The one thing I hate about these motors is they use little tiny Torx bits for the valve covers. I can't stand Torx. I mean, they work, they do their job. They're great for building, you know, nuts, bolts, screws, or, you know, structure. But in a motor, they don't have a place. take this bracket off to get the valve cover off. This is your alternator bracket. And I finally got all the new motor mounts, so when we get this done, we could actually put it back in the next day or so and hear it run.
Calling her dog.
I think her dog's name's Allie or something. Okay, and we're leaving the water pump completely alone because I'm reusing it.
And it's in good working order.
It's in good working order. It doesn't leak. Motor doesn't get hot. So, leave it alone. Get our tensioner off because that's going to be in the way. And I pulled the alternator off when I pulled the motor out. Okay. Yeah, let's go ahead and take this motor mount bracket off. Because I gotta take it off to change the mount itself, I think. Maybe not. Hold on. Let's see. Do those bolts, take it off right there. Oh, okay. Learn something new every day. So, we'll put those right back there so I can find them. So yeah, that motor mount. It's not supposed to do that. But when you got a heavy foot and you like to sidestep the clutch, that's what happens. It means we're putting a little more power back in and new motor mount. I'll put that bolt back here real quick. Let's see. Okay, that can stay. And I do have a puller for the harmonic balancer. I got that sitting off to the side right now. Just getting a good look at everything. And this water pipe over here has got a O-ring connection. Again, it doesn't leak right now, so I want to leave it intact if I can when I pull the manifold off. I will grab a 5/8 wrench. Yeah, let me grab my 5/8. Degreasify it. Pop these few lines off real quick. Give you just enough room to get a finger in there, but not enough to be helpful. 1, 2. Oh yeah, there's the gasoline stink. Probably gonna leak all over. Yeah, that peed on me. Okay. Those should reseal when I put it back on. If not, they're not hard to get to while it's in the car to fix them. Okay. Let's start pulling this manifold. And the reason I'm doing the oil pan after everything is because I know coolant and everything's going to go down in there. So that'll be the last part to be tackled. There's my gun. And there's my socket. There we go. Come on. Right underneath the bundle of wires, I will have to figure out where that vacuum port is when I put it back together. Okay. 1, 2, that's 8 bolts. Yep. 4, 8. Okay. Now, before I can take this off, I gotta take the intake, or the valve covers off. And I forgot to grab those, so put it on pause. I'll be back in a second.
Okay.
Alright, we're back. So you need a T30 Torx to take these valve covers off. And these are goopy. They have spacers underneath these screw heads. You do not want to lose them because the new valve cover gaskets don't come with them. They're a separate kit you have to order. Just put those right in there. Get rid of this old gasket because it leaks. So now you can see the layout of the valves there. And I was reading in the book this morning because I have multiple books on this car. And you got to make sure the push rods go back with the correct valve, because the intake rods are exactly 6 inches and the exhaust rods are 6 3/8 inch. So that could be a major issue if you mix them up. So I'll make up a cardboard layout here in just a few minutes. And then, unlike most small block Chevys being adjustable, my bit just broke. I have to get a new bit. Instead of being adjustable, they are torque and forget valves. So you set them to 14 to 20 foot-pounds and walk away. There we go. So I found that kind of interesting. I was all worried about valve adjustment, but they took the guesswork out of it for me. So I'm gonna have to take that bolt off. Alternator standoff bracket was in the way of the valve cover. Yeah, that right there.
Well, it decided to come off for you.
Huh?
It decided to come off for you.
Yeah, I had to take the alternator standoff out of the way. And it falls right off. But, and you can look, this motor's clean. It's got 200,000 on it. Over 200,000 miles. But you keep clean oil in it, do your oil changes, quality oil, that's what you get. That's why I have no problem putting in a new camshaft in this motor, because I know what I was going to find when I pulled these valve covers off. Okay, so What are you just trying to get a better look?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, right here. Just pulled the bolts out. We got a big difference in bolt size. Left or right. These ones, I'm assuming, are all going to be long. Now let's pull this one back here. Okay, those ones are the same size. Short and a short. So, take your time and figure out where your long bolts go. And if you can, which I'm going to try to do, I'm going to try to leave them where they are while I lift this out of here. Take this oil cap off so it's out of the way. Got a couple spares, but I don't want to break them. Okay, get our little pry bar button here. And don't want to pry up on a water pipe. There we go. And we're not prying on the water pipe, it's the bottom of the thermostat housing and the motor mount, or the engine stand. So, let's see if I can get a hold of it right there. That'll come off there now. Okay. So, and see what we're going to fight right here is this water pipe that goes down to your heater core. It's got a standoff bracket. And I don't want to take that off of there because it's got an O-ring fitting. It's sealed up right now. I don't want to disturb it if I don't have to. As well as you got this pipe in the way here. So, it's going to be a little bit of a wiggle. And there's not a whole lot of great places to grab it. So I'm going to have to go ahead and pull these bolts out. Make sure your spacer washers stay on them, because I'm sure they're important. So these go to this manifold, or that valve side. And we'll put these on the other valve cover. Come here. Yeah, see, we got one that's a oddball length, and that goes right there. Alright, so now let's see if we can slide this any direction. You're gonna make me take that out of there, aren't you? Oh, I see. Our engine lifting bracket's in the way. And you can't get that off because you can't get to that bolt unless you take that water pipe off. Now, I might be able to take that one out and loosen it up a little bit. That is... Yeah, there goes the tensioner. If you got a proper workbench to do all this on, I'm jealous. I'm trying to do this out in the driveway. Where's my baby? There we go. Now she might think with us. You are just giving me a nuisance all the way, aren't you? Okay. Now let's see if I can rock it forward. No, now that bracket's in the way. Okay, let's get rid of that bracket. Alright, stand off for the fuel lines. There we go. Okay. Now we can see the nature of the beast. Okay. And if you notice, let's see, yes, this intake manifold gasket, you have to take the push rods off to get the gasket out. The push rods go through the gasket and then just silicone the ends. So, alright. Easy enough there. So, I need to make a cardboard cutout for the valve train right now. And then after that, we will start taking the timing assembly apart. So, we will be back in a little bit. Good?
Yep.
Okay, got our box made. Simple box, punch 6 holes in it. So we'll take our valves apart, one at a time. One. Take all these off here. Three. 4. 5. I don't know, I'll try to bring the lifter out with it. Always nice. 6. There we go.
Now we'll just repeat that for the other side.
That's it.
Alright, I'm gonna pause you then. Okay.
Okay, so something interesting happened on the rear head. You can see 3 of them came out with the whole stud instead of just coming off with the nut. That's perfectly fine. That's normal. The book has torque specs for all of it, so when you go to put it back together, you see there's a nut head down there. You can just put a wrench on it, take it apart, torque them into the head, and then torque the valve cover, the lifters down, or rockers, sorry. Trying to think, and it's not working today. Take our intake gaskets off here. And our guide pin will let go. There we go. Okay. Okay, good. Good. Now we'll take our... Oh, no, you get back here. Yeah, sure. Draw our pliers. Yep. Thank you. Start pulling our lifters. That one's a little bit of wear, but not bad. No, it's just not going to cooperate. I can't get to it. Boy, a V8's a lot easier to get to. Yeah, I'll have to get a pick on that one. Comes right out. There we go. Oh yeah, that one's pitting. Can you see that? Yep, that one's pitted out.
Doesn't really matter, we got all new lifters, didn't we?
We got all new lifters. They're sitting over there soaking in a bucket of oil right now. So, it doesn't matter what order you take them out of, how gentle you are, just don't hurt the motor. They should come out fairly easy, but
There you go.
Oh, sure. Little Miss Magic Finger over there.
I have little fingers. What do you want?
There we go. Yep, that one's dishing out.
This one looks okay.
Yeah. That's what it should look like after 200,000 miles. Virtually no wear. That's a good one. Oh, you getting another one? You want help? Oh, you can't. Ooh, that one has some sludge in it. Yep.
Okay, it doesn't want to come out.
That one's pitted out a little bit.
I'm not sure why.
It's just being stubborn.
There we go.
There it is. Oh, yeah. Yep. That one's a bad one. So it's probably mushroomed a little bit. That's why I didn't want to come out. Let me find something to put these in here real quick. That'll work.
This one looks alright.
That's not bad. Like I said, I could tell we had 4 or 5 of them rattling, which is the whole reason for this project. You getting it? There you go. Oh yeah, that one's pitted.
Alright, I'll come get these other ones.
Yep.
Since they're coming out from my little fingers.
Yeah. Sometimes it pays to have a little wife
Well,
that's willing to come out and get greasy with me.
not all the time.
Or fingernails. Here, let me find a little flathead.
No, I can get it. My hand was just too covered.
How's that one? I got oil reflecting in my eye.
Sorry, I couldn't really see it either.
Yeah, that one's pitting out. And some of the pitting could be from the car sitting for so long. But also, yeah, that one's good.
That one's alright.
Did you do a good job? Or are you just looking for the other girls? Here, let me get in there.